Well, hey, friends, this is Jennifer, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, the podcast for women who want to find freedom in both their life and in their business. I own a multi-7-figure-a-year coaching business. I'm also a certified life coach. So I have the honor of helping thousands of women every single month make money in the online space and help them to get unstuck from whatever is holding them back, all without sacrificing their faith or their family. In this show, you're going to get the very best life and business advice, always with a healthy dose of Jesus. So buckle in, my friend. I'm so excited that you are here. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the podcast.
How many times have I heard you say that?
How many times have you heard me say that? I think this is episode maybe 323.
I think I've heard it at least 700 times.
And then I also have the podcast or the Monday Fires that I did. I had over 100 of those. I know it's a lot. Do you know how many episodes I've recorded? A whole lot. So I'm glad you're here again. Thanks for coming back.
I've been here for a lot of them. Although, can I give a short story though? Today when I walked in the house and you're like, ah.
Oh, go ahead. I was recording and you came in unannounced.
Unannounced to my own house. I have to announce my
Tell them what happens though.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. What did you say?
One dog that's not wise.
But what did you say? Will you just text me when you come in?
Text me when you come in because otherwise I'm recording and the dog's barking.
I need to announce that I'm coming into my own home. Hello, Jennifer. I'm coming in the home now. Please cue the dogs not to bark.
To which then you're like, why don't you just put the dogs up while you're recording? And I'm like, well, I know, but I feel bad for them. I spent a lot of time recording today.
I would feel bad if they were outside and it's negative 10 degrees outside. At least they're inside. They're at least just in a different room.
I know.
They don't bark.
They give me that look.
Whatever they go in that room, they don't bark.
I know, but that look is so pathetic. It's like, gosh, I feel bad. You don't even feel bad. Where's your heart, Allwood?
I was gone.
I know. And then you were back. Okay, so we're doing part 2.
Unannounced.
We're doing part 2 of Jennifer and Jason's 2023 goals. If you did not listen to the episode Monday, which was part 1, I would suggest you push pause right now and go back and listen. The truth is we are recording these literally 5 minutes apart just so that we keep our train of thought. But we did break it up into 2 separate episodes because there was a lot of content. So I would go back and listen to part 1 and then you can come back and pick up here on part 2. So we're talking about
you probably fast forward through a lot of it because you were talking a lot of words.
Really?
I'm just letting you know.
You were telling them all about our shopping experience that didn't happen that day.
We didn't go shopping. It was returns. Anyways.
God bless you, baby.
Stay on task.
So to recap, this is part 2 of the series that Jason and I are doing about setting goals. And just as a recap also, just on a total whim, Jason and I, the day after Christmas this year, went to a random coffee shop. And by random, I mean the local Starbucks. And just worked on setting goals in 5 areas of our life. This was something that Pete Vargas was talking to our entire Wellspring Mastermind about. The 5 areas that he wanted us each to make goals in were in the fitness health arena, finances. So both of those we talked about on the episode Monday, friendships/relationships, which we're talking about next, the faith arena, and family. And so you guys, when I posted about this on Instagram, I got several questions. And by the way, I hate it. I know you're not on Instagram, baby. Are you yawning right now?
Well,
they can't see us.
I'm not yawning.
It's 10:40 in the evening. Sorry, I'm keeping you up. But this is something that influencers do. They'll be like, I'm getting a lot of questions about my lipstick color, or I'm getting a lot of questions about my jeans today. And so I try really hard not to do that because the truth is I get like 3 questions. I got 3 questions on, can you give us actual examples of like some of your goals?
You know how many questions I got about my lipstick today?
How many, baby? It's a great color, by the way.
What about jeans? Nope. I can wear jeans today.
So anywho, I did a little Instagram story and just said, would you guys like for Jason and I to do a podcast episode on this? You said yes. So here we are.
One person said yes.
No, there was a vote and the vote was yes.
Okay. All right.
So Jason and I sit down at the coffee shop and I pull out the notes on my phone, just on my iPhone. And in case you don't know this, let me do this real quick so that you now, here you're going to know how to do it. Okay. Here I'm going into teaching mode. So if you go to the notes on your phone, and you start a brand new note, like I'm just typing the word test, okay?
Okay.
Up at the top, you can.
You mean to make a joke?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
You can push the shuffle paper button. Is that what that's called? It's like it's
an upload button.
Upload. I thought it was like shuffle.
Or download. No, it's not
shuffle. It's not download. It would be a down.
No? Okay. Upload.
It's a square with an arrow.
That pointing, which direction is it pointing?
Up.
Okay, so Upload it to the next person?
Or shuffle it to someone. Push it.
Shuffle.
Push it real good. Okay. So anyway, I just pushed the button. And then what it says is collaborate. And it says only the invited people can edit. So I just pushed Jason Hot Hubby on my phone. And now he has the exact same note on his phone. So we sat in the coffee shop and we made these notes
I'm
together.
deleting that note, just so you know.
Which one?
The one you just sent to me.
That says Tess?
I'll delete it.
That's fine.
Okay.
You're forgiven. So we sat in the coffee shop and we were there for a while, and this was so much fun, you guys. And there was this part of me that was that I would love to do this every single year. Every single year. It like just excited me to the nth degree. You know that, right?
I was there.
I know. How excited was I? How excited am I still just talking about it?
It was exhilarating.
Here's why it was exciting. Because, well, it just makes me think that we're in alignment.
Oh.
And that there's unity. And the Bible says where there's unity, there is a commanded blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me think that, I mean, we're headed in the same direction, and that like, I know what's going on in your head and heart. And you probably already know a lot of the time what's going on in my head and the heart, because I'm just more verbal.
Way more verbal.
And so it was super helpful to me to know some of the things that were important to you for this year. So we already talked, like I said, on part 1 about fitness and finances. So today we're going to tell you a little bit about the friendship, faith, and family pillars. So the third thing that we were supposed to set goals in is friendships or relationships. It's funner to say friendships, though, because it's all F words. So,
I don't think you can say F word.
And I want to get in a good effort whenever I can. No, I'm kidding. So, do you want to give them an example of something you want to do for?
I will throw an F word out there.
I know you will. And then I'll say $5 in the swear jar and remind you of who you are.
Yeah.
I love
sometimes
you.
just get,
I know.
Just happens.
God bless you. Go ahead. If you want to share with them one of your friendship or relationship goals for this year.
Friendship, relationship goals. So I would like to, for my 50th birthday, 49th birthday, I took a trip to Arizona. I want to do that again this year with a group of friends, guy buddies, to go play golf in Arizona. If my hip is good and I'm well enough to do it, and I want to do that. That is one of my goals to do.
Yep. And so one of my friendship relationship goals is my best friend, Laura. If you've been following me for any length of time, some of you will remember 4.5 years ago, we, in a 6-week period, this is what happened to our life. We got a phone call about adopting a little girl who is my third cousin. And within a couple of weeks, she was living with us full time. And we had a 4th child. A few weeks later, my mom and her husband, my stepdad, went mobile in an RV and traveled the United States for a couple of years. And my best friend was diagnosed with liver cancer. It all happened within like a 6-week period. And it was a really raw season for us of feeling like, what in the heck just hit us? But Laura's cancer was removed. It was a really rare form of liver cancer. And she's a nurse, and God bless, she was back to work and back to surgery in, I think, 6 weeks time. She never had to do chemotherapy or radiation. Praise God. And yet the type of cancer that she has, has according to statistics, has a high level of reoccurrence. We do not believe the report of the doctors. We believe the report of the Lord. So let me just say that. But statistically speaking, if you can get to the 5-year mark with that cancer not showing back up in another place in your body, then statistically speaking, it will not come back. You're not going to get cancer again, et cetera. So the 5-year mark is really important. And so at her year anniversary of being cancer-free, we celebrated by the 4 of us going to Bahaba, and we hiked Arcadia National Park.
We did.
5 years, she will be cancer-free in October, and we want to go on a hiking trip to Utah as a celebration. So that is one of our goals for this year, is just to sow into relationships and friendships and celebrate her being cancer-free. So that's one of mine. So the next category, and we have several things in here, like relationships, things with my mom, and there's a couple of friends that I really just want to get some FaceTime with this year. Sometimes I think, especially working from home, and Jason can attest to this, he's an absolute extrovert. I'm an absolute introvert. And so sometimes I can stay home for weeks on end.
Oh yeah, you can.
I could literally stay in the house and not put on a bra and just not leave.
Yeah. I go to the grocery store. I know everybody there.
And I go to the grocery store and I just want to hide from everybody there.
Yeah.
And so I love you so much. I do. We're such polar opposites. And so anyway, it was good for us to set goals because I could just be alone and not so into a lot of friendships.
But you also want to intentionally have relationships with certain people you want to.
I do.
That you've had relationships with for a long time. You just want to make sure that those relationships, even if it's only once a year, that you go to breakfast or lunch or dinner or twice a year, whatever else, but it's very intentional that those relationships maintain. Yes,
it is. Absolutely. I want FaceTime.
Yeah.
Not just text.
Right.
So.
Text, you're fine. But
yeah, I mean, text is my go-to, but the older I get, the more I realize I really do need that face-to-face connection, even being an introvert. So, so that's our friendship and relationships column. And the next category was faith. So I got to tell you something funny about this, Allwood. So I put on my Instagram stories, like, these are the 5 areas that we're setting goals in today. And said, it was fitness, finances, friendship. I think it was family and then faith. I had faith last. Literally 2 people sent me DMs. Shouldn't faith be the most important thing and be first? And I just wanted to beat my head against my cell phone. Like literally that religious spirit that some people feel like they need to oh gosh, that drives me crazy. I'm like, these aren't in order of importance, people. So let me just go ahead and say that, like, if you'd like to put faith as the number 1 pillar, like this was not, again,
we didn't put it
because I don't want another DM in my Instagram. Shouldn't you have faith being your most important pillar? They're not in order of importance. These are all important. So we've got faith as number 4 in no particular order.
No particular order.
Now that I just blew my top a little, go ahead. Would you like to share one of your faith goals for the year?
Well, I've got a couple that I love. I love that, but one of them is I want to do is that our daughter of 4 years now, Ari, has talked about getting baptized, and to get baptized, they have to lead her to the Lord. So I need to have the Lord's Prayer with her and have her understand what it means.
Yes,
and then at that point in time, then we can get her baptized, and that is a goal. That's not only she already has a desire. We just have to make sure that she understands what she wants to do. So it's just a time and place and make it happen.
And something that we're praying will happen this year.
Because it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to understand what you got to do.
And her mind does not work completely, other kids her age necessarily.
Right.
So I'm just measuring my words really carefully. So she processes things in a different way. And so there's kind of more to it than, just us leading our other 3 children to salvation. So I love that. One of my goals was that I get back to telling our kids that I'm praying for them specifically every Wednesday. This is an idea that I got from our pastor's wife, who used to fast and pray every Wednesday for her children when they were growing up. And there have been times when I've done a halfway decent job on Wednesdays because I just put a reminder on my phone. Hey, kids, what does everybody need mom to pray for today? And I put it in our family group chat so that, hopefully our kids are maybe saying a prayer for each other too. But I just want to be intentional about them knowing, hey, listen, I'm literally setting aside time today to, just war on your behalf, to seek heaven on your behalf. I just want them to know that it's important enough to mom that I will take time out of my workday to do that for them. And so I want to get back to doing that discipline again this year.
I think a lot of times they also know that it's coming almost it used to be, because it was every Wednesday for a long time. It was every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So
I want to get back to that discipline. It's important to me. So that's in our faith bucket. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different faith goals. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You beat me.
Yeah. I mean,
you're more spiritual.
Yeah. My faith is way higher than your faith.
Definitely way higher.
Mine is like,
you probably would have put faith number 1 on the list instead of fitness, right?
For sure.
Yeah. You're holy.
Yeah.
Okay. Our last,
because that's how God measures us. So we put them in order.
Exactly. He is a God of order. That's what her password is. He is a God of order. That he is. Okay. So our last bucket for goals or pillar or whatever you want to call it is family. And it was interesting because when Jason and I were sitting here talking about our family goals for the year, they almost all revolved around travel. And what I realized afterwards is that when we were setting goals for our family, having intentional family time is super important to us. One of the things that I started to mention on a podcast this afternoon, and I was like, I need to not mention it yet, but by the time you guys are listening to this, it's probably going to be a done deal. But are we able to tell them about Noah?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we're just going to go for it.
Okay.
Our oldest son is going to also be moving to Phoenix, where our other son is currently in college. So Noah is taking a transfer with his current job in Kansas City, and he's going to be transferring to Scottsdale, which is a suburb of Phoenix. And he is going to be moving in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So it's going to be happening very, very quickly. So we had family dinner on Sunday night this week.
We did.
And then we're like, you know what? We had family dinner again last night. Because if we can get all 6 of us, plus, they both have deep friendships and or / girlfriends.
Oh, so, we have a fun family.
We do. So we had Easton's girlfriend with us Sunday night. So there were 7 of us. Last night, it was just Allwood party of 6. We went out to Q39 and had barbecue. It was amazing. And then Noah is still in town, as is Easton. So we had another family dinner tonight with...
which is kind of impromptu. Just grill out and just...
Yep. Noah brought Emma and we had a whole house full of people again. And so having face-to-face time is super important to us. And travel is so important to me. Jason can tell you, we've literally sat down with our pastor before.
Oh, on our sofa, yeah. just getting.
Travel is way more important to me than it is to him, which is also super bizarre considering I'm such an introvert and such a homebody. But I love to go to new places and I love to see things. And so
those experiences.
I do. So as we were talking through like our family goals for the year, we realized, 1, 2, 3, 4, hang on just a second. 7 of our 10 goals have to do with travel for our family. And so we just wrote those all in a list. It's a shared, we didn't have Jason's family goals and Jen's family goals. We just set these together because there's nothing different for me than different from him. It's just the family overall.
We could put those into 2 different categories because I could put your family could be over here crazy family and then my family.
Oh, really? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That works. But so we set our family goals. I'll give you just a quick example of one of those. So Ari has told us that she wants to go back to just right outside of my hometown in Iowa in August this year. We've done it the last 2 years for the Marcus Fair. It's like a town of 800 people. She loves it with everything in her. We go stay either at my mom's or my aunt and uncle's. They have cows and there's farmyard animals.
Upside down ride until we're...
So we've got it on the goal list because if it's not down somewhere, then we don't make it happen. And so what we've had to do and what we are going to do next is, so those are our 5 pillars, by the way, the fitness, the finances, the friendship, the faith, and the family. So then what we've decided to do next is to make sure that some of these begin to happen and that we don't end up in November and haven't done any of them.
Oh, we've got the fair.
Is that Jason and I are going to have monthly check-ins on the first Monday morning of every month.
So can I tell you something that happened yesterday?
Yeah, baby.
I got an email.
Yeah, we had a meeting yesterday.
We had a meeting yesterday.
But you know what? We just set the goals the week before, so we didn't need a meeting yesterday.
Yeah, it was January 2nd.
I know.
Literally, have you done any of your stuff yet?
Well, not any of it yet,
not
but
any of it.
Working on it.
I mean, my faith stuff, I was working on that stuff because mine was...
Well, one of my faith things was daily reading of the Bible, and I've done every day.
See, there we go.
So far this year.
I'm 3 days in.
I know.
5 days in. 7 days in.
So the first Monday of the month, I did put it on our calendar just so that we would have time set aside, and that may have to be punted. We might have to move that time.
You can do audible again.
We could audible. I like saying punted better, but at least then we have a chance to just kind of touch base and how are you doing? How are you doing? How are we doing? What do we need to do to start making some of this stuff happen, et cetera, et cetera. So, I have no idea if we're going to love this by the end of the year because this is the first time we've done this.
Right. But I also know though, is that if you're not honest about these goals and when you have these monthly check-ins and stuff like that, if you're completing it, have you ever read your Bible every day? Yeah, I have. Bro, I've seen you drinking coffee and looking at Facebook.
Bro, are you calling me bro?
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I do.
So it's one of those hot conversations too. Are you being honest about it or are you just fluffing it?
Right.
So
I am not a fluffer.
That's true. I want to say something so bad.
Don't say it. Don't say it. So here's what I just want to leave you with. This is just what Jason and I are going to try for this year and just see what works. I loved doing it because I found out so much about my husband that I didn't realize that he was processing and thinking about and, internally shooting for. And so I love just having like a peek inside of his brain since he's somebody that doesn't like a lot of it. Like, here's how his brain works. It comes out of his mouth when he's angry or he's past the limits or he's like joking or something like that. But otherwise you do a lot of mental processing. So it was great for me just to get like a peek behind the curtain. I didn't even know that you wanted to do like a local race, this year. So
Wizard of Oz, like there's a guy behind that curtain.
I know.
Talking to like some kind of weird microphone or something.
There's no weird microphone, just this Yeti Blue here that we're using off Amazon.
Huh.
But
shameless plug.
And the other thing that I think was really cool, I know, sponsorships, please, is that we know what we're working together towards as a family. And I was thinking about how many relationships do we hear about with people say, we were growing in different directions.
Yeah. We're not in love anymore. We fell apart.
We were going in different directions. And it was comforting to me, who has a real high need for security in our marriage, just to know that we're like moving in the same direction together and that it's not me out front pulling you. It's not you out front pulling me, but that we're vision casting together. We're prioritizing different things in our life together. We're working towards some of the same things. That just makes me, as somebody who really needs a sense of security in my marriage, feel like, I don't know, just that this was good.
Yeah. And for the husbands out there, this is the long play. Okay. This is like that.
We have 2 men that listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
So for the 2 husbands listening.
This is, this fills your wife's love bucket, big time. And therefore you might get like you can go out for an extra cup of coffee without her tomorrow.
Oh, you think so?
Or really? A round of golf or whatever else.
Yes.
No, I'm just
if I ever said no to one round of golf,
I'm just
ever.
teasing you.
I know you are. So,
but no, it is really good though, because it does. Anything that brings you closer together is by all. I mean, it's good.
And you did fill my love bucket. Thank you.
I did.
Yeah.
Look at me.
I know. Look at you.
Break my arm. Pat myself on the back.
Good. Yeah. All right, friends. I hope that this was helpful for you. If so, you could send both of these episodes. They're fast. Send them to your spouse. And I can tell you that one of the most awkward parts of the whole goal setting thing for me was looking at Jason and going, it'd be the perfect day.
Oh,
perfect. It was because in my head, I'm like, I don't want to say, hey, do you want to go find a coffee shop sometime and do goal setting? Because that just sounds so like lame-o. And in my head, even though I have literally been with you 27 years, I was thinking, I don't know what he's going to think of that.
If you'd have said that, probably I would have wrecked the truck and been like,
not wreck the truck.
We need to get out. We need to go different directions.
But
no.
But instead I was like, it'd be a perfect day. And you were like, let me make this perfect day happen like in 10 minutes at the local Starbucks. So anyhow.
No, but it also is. So take it one step, just a half a step deeper than that was it. I heard you, what you were saying, which perfect day was. And then I acted upon it.
You did. You're good at that.
Well, not always. No, trust me. There are many days when I've failed miserably at that, I'm sure.
There's many. You do much better, honey, than I do. So
it was a conversation we had, and the only reason it happened is because UPS was closed.
Thank you, UPS, for disappointing us again. All right. So friends, I hope that this was helpful, honestly. And if it was, do me a favor, share this on Instagram, share this with your spouse.
They can DM me.
They can DM you at 816. No, I'm kidding. He does not have social media, so you'll have to DM me. But we do appreciate you listening and hope that this just maybe gave somebody an idea. We do not have a perfect marriage, but we have a pretty darn good marriage. And this felt unifying, and it felt loving. I don't know. It felt fun for me. So thank you for doing it, Ben.
Fun is setting goals.
Oh, I know. It just tripped my trigger. Thank you.
I
know.
Man.
All right, friends.
Thanks.
I'm a simpleton, really.
So, yeah. No roses.
No roses.
No candy.
Let's just goal set.
Let's just go out and set some goals.
Conquer the world. Thanks for being here, friends. We appreciate you. Much love. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Friend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. I'm so honored that you come back for every episode and that you share the Jennifer Allwood Show with your friends and family. Every time I see you guys post about it on Instagram or Facebook or something, it just makes me do a little happy. So thank you. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast if you never want to miss an episode. So you can go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the other podcasting places and subscribe each week so that every week you get the new episode when it releases. So just know that I love bringing you relevant content. I love bringing you great guests. And one of the ways you can help us here at Team Allwood is by leaving the podcast a review. So if you have just a second to do that, would you go over and leave a review for the Jennifer Allwood Show? Thank you again. You're amazing. I'm honored to be here. Until next week. Bye-bye.